Sammy, what
Mm.
is your worst of the weekend?
Oh man, starting off on a bad foot. My worst of the weekend was that ridiculous brawl in the Angels versus Mariners baseball game, which
Yeah.
ended in Rafael Iglesias taking a handful of sunflower seeds and gum and throwing it on the field, and 8 people get ejected, two managers. I mean, come on, guys, what are we doing? We're professional sports athletes, right? That's what the narrative is supposed to be, that these players are the best of the best of the best, and they're just acting a fool. I mean, I like a good fight as much as anybody in these sporting events, but that was just ridiculous. Nothing actually gets accomplished in these baseball brawls. It just looks ridiculous. The whole game got ruined because of it. Come on, be better.
The brawl happened in the second inning, and the game ended 2-1. To your point, it got boring.
Yeah, I think the top 3 hitters for the Mariners got tossed, and Rafa Iglesias, as well as a couple hitters from and the Angels got tossed. It just made the whole game unwatchable from that point forward. And the ball wasn't even good. It was over nothing. I mean, come on.
I just don't like when baseball players, when benches clear. Like, to me, each team should get docked a game if they're both doing that. Like, it's not right. It's not fair to me. It's not professional to me when you're at a baseball game and you clear the bench to fight. I think the entire team should get knocked the game. It's just stupid.
I wouldn't disagree. The NBA implemented rules about leaving the bench during these brouhahas, and
Scuffles.
you know I. I don't know. I just don't feel like it matters anymore. Like back in the old days, throwing inside and hitting a player and then getting into a fight over it, like used to cause like you not to do it anymore. That's not the case anymore. Now they just do this, and it doesn't seem to accomplish anything. Nobody actually learns anything from it, and they just look foolish. And then at the end, when you're throwing stuff on the field, I mean, you tell fans don't throw things on the field, and you have baseball players coming out and throwing things on the field just to make a mockery of it. I mean, it's just a bad look for the MLB, and bad look for baseball in general.
And one last thing, I could count like 5 people. I could count on one hand the amount of people that were actually trying to make peace and trying to hold people back. That was how
Yeah,
bad
there
it was.
always
It was just stupid.
there always is a few peacekeepers, but their efforts are usually far overthrown by people who just get caught up in the moment. But they shouldn't be getting caught up in the moment. We should be better than this.
They're grown ups.
They're supposed to be.
Yeah, my worst of the weekend is Russell Westbrook, who finally clapped back at Skip Bayless and he used Twitter to do so. Westbrook is mad that Skip Bayless calls him West Brick. And no offense, but when you're shooting about 44% from the field, Steph Curry shot 43%, but we want to know. Anyways, Russell Westbrook shot 44% from the field, and he had some ugly misses, so Skip honestly called it West Brick. I wrote an entire article on LinkedIn about it, about what, like, because Draymond Green's talking about the new media and how the old media is, pushing all these insults. Dude, you play sports, you're subject to people's opinion. If Skip did not call out your family, like, he didn't do anything out of bounds, he called you Westbrook. Ooh, man, give me a break. Russell Westbrook firing up a storm. Oh, who's going to win in a fight, Skip or Russ? Just shut up, dude. Call the guy. Come on, man.
I
This
mean, if Westbrook really wants to, if he wants to clap back, why not just go on Skip's show and talk some trash to him? Right back in the day, people would go on and actually get in a face to face discussion. I'm not saying go Jim Effort on the guy, but like
no,
get on the show and like you know talk some smack back. Give him some reason to respect you. I mean, yeah, this whole keyboard warriors talking behind
say it to
their
my face.
yeah, just get on the show. Let's talk about it in person. You think I'm not a good basketball player? Tell me why. I
Right.
don't know.
It's sad. What is your best, though?
My best one, I mean, obviously, it's easy to say hockey as I've been, touting hockey all playoff season, but I'm going to go a different
Yeah.
direction. For me, it's going to be College World Series baseball.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Ole Miss was the last at-large team to get into the tournament. That's the equivalent of like Memphis in the basketball tournament, the 9 seed in the basketball tournament. And they made it all the way through, played the juggernaut that is Oklahoma, which is the equivalent of playing like Duke or Gonzaga. And they had to beat them twice, right? Oklahoma hadn't lost the whole time. It's double elimination tournament. and Ole Miss came in there and swept Oklahoma in both games to win the World Series title. It's just an astoundingly huge upset. Pure David versus Goliath. College baseball doesn't get a lot of press. I'm not even the biggest fan of college baseball, but this was a great story and one that unfortunately is not getting enough airtime. One of the true monumental upsets we've seen in college sports in years.
I'll correlate that to the night in Memphis. I would say like St. Mary's.
Well,
that's like the at-large team.
So I tried to look up the bracket because St. Mary's are like they won their conference, so they get an automatic bid, right? Ole Miss was an at-large bid, so I picked like one of the teams that was like middle of the road, big conference teams that got in at large. Memphis, I think, was one. Marquette maybe might have been one. They were like 9 or 10 seeds in the men's bracket. That's the equivalent though of how far down Ole Miss was in the hierarchy of college baseball. And to come in and just they lost one game. They played great the whole series, but to sweep the juggernaut that Oklahoma was completely unbeatable the whole bracket and came in and swept them. It was pretty cool to see.
It's almost like if Cincinnati would have actually beat Alabama. How about that?
Yeah,
if Cincinnati would have actually beat Alabama, that would be what this would be.
Yeah, it's that level of upset. Absolutely,
Alabama's the dominant team. They always win. They always have the best players. Cincinnati's got promising guys, but they never find a way to break through, and they beat them anyways.
But they had to beat them twice, which is even more crazy.
Yes, I agree. Yeah. Good point. I like my analogy better. Okay. My best of the weekend. I had a few things to choose from here, but I went with this. Travelers Championship. With all the PGA and LIV talk that's been going on, literally when I use LIV golf hashtag on Twitter, our views skyrocket, which is really incredible for golf. But this week, after the U.S. Open has controversy, got Xander Schauffele at the Travelers Championship. Dude shot 19 under. Ooh. Now, what's crazy about this is like round 3, after he was done, his 5 or 6 stroke lead was dwindled down to 1 because everybody caught fire. Like there was like a bunch of guys with 10 under or better. So finally, Xander stepped up and still kept on dominating. Like we've seen Rory fall off. Even he had a first round lead in this event. It's really cool to see golf guys that give the gas and they keep their foot on the gas because golf is so subject to weather conditions. I know it's supposed to be a beautiful weekend, but you never know what the car that you're gonna be dealt is. And he absolutely dominated. Shout out Xander Schauffele for his 6th PGA Tour win in the best golf league in the world.
Yeah, I didn't get a chance to watch much of the golf. I didn't see the crazy minus 19. And to your point, golf is one of those great sports to watch because it's so much pressure on one individual person that watching them crumble under that pressure is great television. But also on the flip side of that, like to your point, watching them overcome that pressure and step up is also great television. So yeah, while I did not get a chance to watch that, I'm sure that was enjoyable. Great best of the week.